is the missing piece offering more benefits, or is it offering better financial advice and planning support in the workplace?
They wait until the day or the month before they retire. By that point, it's kind of too late.
What people don't know, they don't know.
Can make the difference of retiring 5 years earlier. But the main thing that comes out year after year is just peace of mind.
Don't let your benefits kind of be your best kept secret.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Benefits Wise, where we try to untether what is going on in the world of employee benefits. Now, today's episode, we are talking about why employees can often struggle with financial benefits, and more importantly, what employers and organizations can do to better support them with that. Many organizations offer a wide range of financial benefits, whether that's things like pensions, protection, and various financial well-being modeling tools. But quite often employees are still struggling to engage with those benefits, which then leads organizations to feel that they're not getting the true value of what they're paying for those benefits. So today we're exploring, is the missing piece offering more benefits, or is it offering better financial advice and planning support in the workplace? So here we go. Okay, welcome, and thank you for everyone for joining us. Those people who are coming back to Benefits Wise will probably know Tasha. Tasha's our Employee Benefits Director, but we also have the illustrious Jack Saunders along for the ride. So Jack works in the private wealth side of our organisation. So Jack, do you want to give us a quick 30 seconds who you are and what you do?
Yeah, illustrious is a new one. I like that.
Hey, we'll put that on the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, definitely. Hello, everyone. My name is Jack Saunders. I am the Director of Private Wealth here at Illubity. And I guess essentially what we're doing on this side of the business is helping employees build up to the retirement that they want to have, then execute the retirement that they really want to have through kind of linking up money to the meaning of what their life should look like, what they want it to look like, helping them achieve all of their goals and aspirations and hopefully not have any money worries along the way.
Brilliant. Very succinct. I love it, Jack. So obviously today we're going to be talking about why employees can struggle to engage with their financial benefits, and more importantly, I guess, why and how employers can help better support them. So Tasha, if I can come across to you as our kind of first question. So are financial benefits only valuable if employees understand them, and how do they fit into wider financial plans?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dan. And I think, we see a lot of employees every year, and the employers are offering a lot of benefits. New benefits are coming to fruition, to the forefront all the time. So there's always something new that people are looking towards. And that's great, but you do have to have the engagement side of it. I always say, don't let your benefits kind of be your best kept secret. You've got all of these things, but you've got to get people to buy in and to engage with them. And typically with some of the core benefits, such as group risk and healthcare products, sadly, people engage in those when they need to see a doctor on private medical or something dreadful happens and, they have to claim. And really, we want to kind of take a step back and get people engaged, in this much sooner. And I think certainly from what Jack and his team can bring to that is really getting people to look at that end goal, not wait till, I'm 65 next week and I should have done something. It's really trying to get people to think about this more seriously sooner on. You've got a lot of benefits there. You've got some financial planning tools, well-being, but we just need the input from the employee as well. So, trying to get them involved in that.
Yeah, that's great. And Jack, I guess coming over to you from your side of things, like Tash says, obviously there's plenty of tools and products available, but how does that fit into the whole plan?
I think the key is to try and build some sort of context around everything. People just see a pension as a vehicle to save money and retire with, but as Tash said, they leave it too late. They wait until the day before or the month before they retire. And by that point, it's kind of too late. You can't really change the outcome of what your future looks like. If you can engage with your pensions or whether it's your insurances or anything along those lines, if you can do that much, much earlier, you make better decisions and you achieve or can try to achieve at least a much stronger financial future by doing so. So it's, within financial planning, it's all about kind of giving the money some sort of purpose, really looking at what it's supposed to do for you in the future and how it can help you achieve what you really want to. You don't have to wait until you're 60 to do that. The earlier you start doing that, the the more kind of compounding your decisions have to be able to make much bigger kind of outcomes for you.
Touching on pensions, I think is a off from, again, from your side of things, Jack, why do many employees struggle to engage with something that we all know is so important, right? We all know that we need to be saving into pensions and, having that plan. But why do we think people do struggle to engage with them?
Well, it definitely doesn't help that the government constantly change the rules about them. That's one issue that we always have. I think the fact that they're quite long term, a lot of people just see it as a when I retire, that's what it's for. But bringing it more short term and thinking about the fact that it's money, you wouldn't just let money in the bank account sit there and do nothing. So looking at your pension and trying to maximize what that's doing much earlier on is really, really useful. But yeah, because it's so long term, it's easy to ignore. It's not top of the priority list for people, especially busy people with work and life and all of that stuff. Complex language is definitely another one. There's a lot of kind of terminology and jargon that the industry uses around pensions, which people we've worked with in the past will struggle to kind of understand every little intricacy and every word. So that's something that definitely puts people off and just makes you ignore it. And I think the kind of what should I do? That's what a lot of people are asking themselves with their pensions. It's a confusing world. They're not really sure how to go about looking at how tax efficient something is or how putting more money in might impact them, how the investments within a pension work. All of those things, I think, are all kind of part of that jigsaw puzzle as to why people struggle to engage with them.
Yeah, that's great. And Tasha, from your side of things, and I guess you work very closely with lots of employers and organisations. From that point of view, with that kind of wider lens on, same question: why do we think employees struggle to engage with pensions?
I mean, I think it is totally what Jack just said. I think people see it very often as that's a tomorrow job. You know, I might be saving for a mortgage, or I might be this, or I might be having kids, and it's something I can do later on. And I think it's that age old thing. What people don't know, they don't know, and employers massively communicate about kind of what they've got and what it is and the importance of, we all know it's important to save into a pension, because ultimately what we're doing is replacing our salary that we've got now when we get to kind of retirement, and nobody wants to face that cliff edge of, well, I've got to retirement and my income's gone down. I think maybe where there's a bit of a disconnect is people don't really understand kind of what it means. I think we all really try to paint a picture. What does retirement look like? Because yours will be different to mine, Dan, and Jack's will be different to mine and yours. And I think we have to really paint that picture of what it is and have that aim. And I think that's where you get the buy-in for people, so they can really bespoke it to them.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. And Jack, let's try and bring this to life. So from a practical point of view, can you give us any kind of nuggets of how financial advice can what impact can it actually have on people's lives?
I think you've got the kind of short term and the long term side of it. But the crux of it is if you can change your pension into your retirement plan and really think about what it is you're going to do today with the pension, with the amount you put in, with how it's invested, with who you've nominated as your beneficiaries, all of these little things. If you can switch the focus onto the differences and the choices you make today, look at the impact that has much, much further down the line, it's going to be hugely, hugely valuable. It will make or can make the difference of retiring 5 years earlier or having an extra 30% on your income, whatever it might look like. There are so many impactful things that can kind of come from making those decisions now. So helping employees make those decisions, not just have information and sort of trying to guess what they should or shouldn't do, actually having access to somebody and who can run through it with them, show them the impact this has on their financial future. All of a sudden that money has meaning. I guess that's the way that I
It's life, doesn't it?
exactly. Yeah. And when you can see that okay, well, I can retire at 62 instead of 65, or that bucket list holiday I've always wanted to go on, I can actually do that now if I make some changes. And often the change doesn't have to be that drastic, but because we put it off or people put it off, it never actually happens. Those are the kinds of things that can really, really help. And it could be things that aren't necessarily linked to the benefits as such. It could be as simple as actually somebody's got 3 or 4 different debts, different loans or credit cards, and actually looking at how all of that fits together now, you can help people come up with some sort of plan to get themselves into a more kind of secure financial place, which could then have the compounding effect of better performance at work and less focus on the money issues they have or on the money side of things. It could then allow them to free up some more kind of disposable income to plan for a better financial future for themselves.
Yeah, you've kind of touched on, a couple of I guess, the wider kind of HR point of views there, Jack, in terms of, people being more productive at work, etc. Tasha, are there any other points which, can help bring this to life and show the impact from an organization point of view?
Yeah, I mean, just this morning I was on a call with a client who said directly they had had a few days of one-to-one sort of retirement kind of planning sessions. The feedback from the employees was, "We've never had this before. Really want to take this the next step further. I've really bought into it now. I understand it."
Mm.
I think a lot of people perhaps feel um, a bit nervous about exposing themselves, exposing their vulnerabilities around financial planning and maybe not knowing enough about it. But I think once they've been through that process, they realize it's not like that. It's really helpful. I think from the company's perspective, it takes a huge amount of pressure off the HR teams. I think they feel like the benefits they're putting in place are really improving the outcomes, particularly with the pension. Ultimately, people are paying into a pension or saving for retirement. As Jack said, do they just need to pay a little bit more in? Do they just need to tweak their investments to just give them that bit extra? And Jack and I, we've probably seen it countless times where it really comes off for someone, and it's so satisfying to see somebody be able to retire earlier or have a bit more money or whatever it might be. So I think all in all, it's good all round. It's good for the employer. It's a great news story for the employee. And I think people really truly buy into the pension.
Yeah, that's great. And I can only imagine what a tricky situation it can be if you're in HR and someone comes and starts asking really kind of detailed questions around things like pensions, etc. Because you're then starting to stray into realms of financial advice, and should they be given financial advice? It can be a real a real difficult situation that they're put in. I guess in terms of adding financial planning and financial advice support into the workplace, Tash, if I come to you, if you could summarize in just a couple of quick high level reasons why an employer or an organization would want to do that.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it comes down to what I call the 3 Rs, so reward, retention, and recruitment. You can absolutely help with recruitment, if you've got the right benefits and pension and all those sorts of things in place, if they've got access to financial planning, even better. I think that retention piece is critical. If you've got an engaged workforce, that they will really, stay with you, and they are completely rewarded for that. I think it has the knock-on effect with well-being as well, not just the financial well-being aspect, but also that has a knock-on effect to their mental and physical well-being. So, I think HR has quite a few pain points when it comes to employees, and I think financial planning support, the stuff that Jack and his team do, you can see the direct correlation with people and their well-being.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And Jack, from I guess your side of things, speaking to people on an individual one-to-one basis, and you've seen the impact of the financial planning journey that you take people on. From your side of things, how would you, I guess, you know, emphasize the impact that has in an organization?
I think the key benefit, we do some sort of study every year where our clients give us direct feedback anonymously about what they most value from financial planning and the advice that we provide. And a lot of people expect it to be investment performance or tax savings, and those are all kind of just plumbing, really. That's what you want in there. But the main thing that comes out year after year is just peace of mind. That's what you get as an individual. And the way that then correlates into the kind of workplace is that, well, if somebody has money worries and they're concerned and they're not sure if they're doing the right thing and they're just all of these things that we have as people, having less of that to worry about does then free up that kind of mental space to be able to focus on other things. And hopefully that's focusing on their work and what they're doing with the organization. But better decisions, hopefully less stress, and ultimately that should produce and provide some better productivity for the workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we were to summarize, if I could ask you both, if you could change one thing about how employers support financial well-being, Jack, what would it be?
I think it would be to encourage people to seek advice earlier than when they retire, which is the typical time. And yeah, I think being an employer that offers a route into financial advice, so many people don't even know where to start when they're looking for an advice and support and planning. So having that trusted kind of opinion that these guys are good, whoever that may well be, these guys are good, we trust they're going to do the right thing and look after you, I think that's always going to be a good thing. So definitely introducing it earlier and making it more accessible for people.
Yeah, great. And Tasha, same question to you.
Yeah, I think you need to treat it as an ongoing thing. It's not an annual situation. I think financial well-being is, like I said earlier, is critical for people's mental well-being, their physical well-being. So I think it has to be an ongoing subject. And I think that's what we do so well. We provide that real clarity on an ongoing basis. It's not sort of a one and done situation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an ongoing and it's an ever evolving program, isn't it? In the whole well-being space, whatever pillar you're talking about with well-being. So, yeah, it's definitely not a one and done. I completely agree with that. Well, let's wrap it up. 15 minutes, I think, is long enough to hear from us. So, thank you, Jack, and thank you, Tasha, for joining us today. And if there are any clients out there who are listening who do want to get in touch, then please feel free to reach out to either of Jack and Tasha. I'm sure they'll both be more than happy to discuss how we can potentially work together and support you with the financial well-being journey. So, yeah, I think that's all from us. So, thank you very much, both, and thank you
Thanks,
everyone
Dan.
else for listening.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Jack.